everybody. Welcome back to the 90th minute. We are your hosts. You got myself, Liam, Lucas, and Waz tonight. Maddie and Greg could not join us, but that is okay. It's yet another week in the beautiful game. Let's talk about football. Let's talk about the sport that we all love. Before we get into this week's action, though, make sure you subscribe to the 90th minute on YouTube. Follow us along at any and all social media. Links are in the description. Also, hit like and comment on this video. Get involved in our conversation this evening. But again, before we kick it off, I want to give a massive shout out and thank you to everyone who subscribed. We finally hit that 4,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. Waz, how are you doing this evening?
Better. We've recovered from the events of this afternoon, this evening in the UK, of course.
We'll talk about you, Manchester United. Don't you worry.
But I just want to say thank you everyone for all the support in the recent videos. We posted a little bit more content over the week than usual. We got that interview with Big Pav. Check it out. We talked about Chelsea, Croatia, slap football. It was fun to talk. It was a good conversation with Big Pav. He's fun. He's very knowledgeable about football. Some people might disagree. He has some hot takes, but they're kind of he has his reasons behind everything.
But yeah, thank you to everyone who is supporting the channel. Make sure you check out those series and those videos. But let's get into this week. Let's get into this week's podcast. We're going to start it off this week with the FA Cup. There's been some massive fixtures there, and we now have our two finalists. It could have been a Manchester derby, but turns out it is a London derby. Two somewhat shocking results, but two very exciting games at the Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, no, it's I think a lot of people were actually predicting a Manchester derby in the final, but it's a complete opposite with Arsenal versus Chelsea final. Let's first off, let's start off with Arsenal versus City.
Yeah, I don't know how this happened.
Everyone got shocked by. I'm kind of surprised at the same time. I'm like, you know what? I can see why. I think Arsenal is trying to find some mojo in their game. I think Arteta, like I said, he's been.
Let's be honest. Arsenal have had the week of their careers. They beat top spot Liverpool, and then they go and beat Manchester City.
But I mean, everyone's gonna say, "Oh, Liverpool wasn't trying, or Liverpool's playing youngsters." Lucas, were they playing youngsters?
No, really.
Yeah, no. Back to the FA Cup. City, they got Arteta outclassed. Mr. Pep Guardiola, the student, beat the master.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at the statistics, it ends 2-0 for Arsenal. 2 goals by Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. What a fantastic season he's having currently. The statistics, though, they give an interesting story because if you look at possession, Manchester City have 70% to Arsenal's 30%. You go, okay, it's probably a one-sided match for Man City. They control the game. If you look at the shots and the shots on target, 12 shots for City, only 2 on target. 5 shots for Arsenal, 5 on target. So, in terms of goal-scoring chances, Arsenal were way more clinical.
I think Arsenal were just more creative. Aubameyang was clinical in front of that. They need him to be scoring, and he's been one of the best strikers in England right now. So it's good to see him starting to play well for them. The team as a whole has picked up form. Even David Luiz had a good game.
Yeah, he did.
So
he really did. Actually,
he really had that wake-up call from that one game against City, and. Yeah, it was a different. We're seeing a different Arsenal finally. I think they just they needed time to wake up from the restart, and we're starting to see the Arsenal that we were starting to see before COVID happened. Like I said, I thought we were seeing good things from Arsenal. I think Arteta's instilled a good philosophy at the club. He's going to try and build upon it.
I think the most frustrating thing about David Luiz is that he has games like this where he is very good, he's solid, he looks composed.
Yeah.
Then he has games where he is David Luiz and nothing works for him.
Essentially, it goes from David Luiz to Sideshow Bob, and then Sideshow Bob to David Luiz. So.
I was going to say, Kieran Tierney was brilliant this match. Yeah, the one he put over to Aubameyang, it was a great ball in on his fantastic left foot. He's comfortable playing those balls. I've seen it for years now for Celtic. But yeah, I'm happy to see him playing for Arsenal. Is there anything else we want to talk about this game, or do you want to move on to the Manchester United debacle?
To see Arsenal back in form, and like I said, I'm going to say this. I think people are sleeping on Arsenal right now. People need to start paying attention.
They have their moments. They have their moments, and then they have their moments.
Well, let's now move on to Chelsea versus United. The one where I paid very close attention to, unfortunately. This is probably one of the worst United performances I've seen in a long time. Deservedly so. We got outclassed by Chelsea in every department of the match except for maybe set pieces.
Yeah, you were.
That's all we had.
You
was
were
set
definitely
pieces.
second best in this match.
And it all came down to blunders from the defense and Mr. David De Gea, who once again built up another case for him to maybe start looking for a new club. I don't want to say that because you guys know me. I've defended David De Gea a lot this season, and yeah, I don't know, because Dean Henderson's gonna be knocking at that door. He's gonna be seeing his mistakes. I can probably do a better job.
Yep. I was gonna say, if you remove yourself as Wazinho and you put Dean Henderson on yourself, you watch this game and go, what do I have to do to get this starting spot? It's not like I've been playing poorly this year. I've been outstanding this season. You know, I'm leading a team to potential European positions that don't deserve to be in European positions. So just a quick little thing there. Lucas's mic wasn't turned on. So the first probably 10 minutes here, so he might be a little quiet.
No, it was just muted. It was muted.
Let's just keep going with Manchester United versus Chelsea. Yeah. We were talking about Dean Henderson and David De Gea, like Was said. De Gea with yet another blunder. Dean Henderson definitely deserves that role potentially.
That definitely deserves to fight for it. I mean, I think United could probably get some money from David De Gea right now, but it's so many question marks around him right now. Not even that, is the defense as well. Not the defense is
well. I want to talk about the most expensive Phil Jones in the world, Mr. Harry Maguire. He was shocking.
Yeah, no, shocking is probably an understatement. I think that
he scores an own goal in the 74th minute. That is what it was.
And it was also David De Gea mistake as well. He kind of could have handled that better too.
But I want to talk more about his on-the-ball play. Harry Maguire did not seem comfortable in the back. He didn't control the match that you would expect your 80 million pound center back to control the game.
Is a little bit stronger on the ball, especially dribbling and passing. But this game, he was definitely on. I think the United team in general just didn't have the focus, especially in the back.
United as a team were not on.
I think that first goal honestly might have came down to poor focus. Of course,
just a little bit of a mental lapse.
Typical Olivier Giroud happened. I mean, that first half.
I rate the man. I rate him.
I know, I do too. I just think that first half in general was one of the poorest first halves I've ever seen in football. I mean, I don't know why.
You say the first half was poor, yet you conceded only one goal in the first half.
The general football was poor. There was the 4 injuries. It was hard to keep focused on the match because there were so many stoppages. And United
11
didn't really
minutes
press
of extra time in the first half.
And this is the thing, we're in the 49th minute or 53rd minute, and Olivier Giroud scores. And I think that's because of all these injuries. Potentially, the United defenders just lost focus. They're waiting for the whistle to blow. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the mindset wasn't there.
Right? We looked at the statistics of the City game versus Arsenal, and we said it was a little bit even. Here, possession was a little bit even. You had 51%. Chelsea had 49%. Yet the shots were the big talking point here. You had 3 shots on target, Manchester United, and Chelsea had 7. That's a huge difference for a game of this stature.
Yeah, and of course, this time, De Gea makes another mistake with Mason Mount. Like I said, we didn't create chances. Chelsea simply did. They were the better team. And
classic Manchester United. You get a penalty in this match.
Yeah,
Bruno Fernandes does score.
Not even that. We were also hoping for a penalty on Martial because Martial kind of got clipped. And this is one of those rare occasions where it actually did kind of look like a penalty, and a lot of people were saying it was. But we can't rely on penalties all the time. That's bullshit. Sorry for my language. I know Matt swears a lot, but he's not. I'm sorry. I don't. Sure, you'll take your penalties, but it becomes embarrassing. United now, I think, scored 19 penalties this season. That's not a good look.
Wild.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's frustrating to see a performance like that after how well we played over 19 games. 19 games unbeaten we went, and we played like this in an FA Cup semifinal. For the most part,
I was a little bit surprised to see some of the players who did not start for you. Paul Pogba, Martial, Greenwood.
Well, I mean, a lot of them have been playing a lot of football recently.
Yeah, the same with Chelsea. They gave Abraham a rest, Loftus-Cheek, Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic.
I was kind of more confused on why he kind of went with a 2-striker formation, Dan, James, and Rashford. Where, I mean, Chelsea easily snuffed that out with a 5-back. So, I mean, Ole just in general has trouble breaking down compact defenses. Like I said on my TikTok, I'm like, there was no life going forward.
He's out of depth.
I don't know, man.
Ole's out of depth.
We did look better in the second half, but it wasn't enough because defensive mistakes costed us again. And it was just, oh god,
it's not good. Not good time for a loss. You guys got very important matches coming up. They are must wins because you guys have a chance to get past Leicester, but you don't want.
I mean, let's quickly talk about the final of the FA Cup, and then we'll get into the Premier League discussion because that's going to be very interesting. Final, of course, Arsenal versus Chelsea. I think both these clubs were the underdogs going into their respective matches. I think that might make a bit more interesting of a final. I mean, City versus United, yes, big Manchester derby, yes, all that drama, but I mean, these are two teams that
I think on paper,
interesting,
Yeah, well, on paper, United and City were both playing pretty good football in the Premier League. They were both on form, and
it's two very new, inexperienced managers going at it. They'll win their first trophies for their club as a manager, and of course, Frank Lampard has won it 3 times as a player, the FA Cup, I believe. Who's our money on? Who do you guys take in this final?
So we saw Arsenal and Chelsea in the Europa League final last year, right? So this is kind of a rematch in a sense, of a final rematch. Call me crazy. I'm gonna put money on Arsenal. Not because I'm pissed that we lost. I respect Chelsea. No, don't. I still respect. I'm not one of those United fans that hates Chelsea. I just think I like what I've seen from Arsenal recently, and they haven't been really losing recently either. They drew Leicester because of a red card, right? They beat Liverpool, they beat City, so I think Arsenal are in a good position to win this right now.
Lucas, who are you taking this one?
Right now, I'm feeling Arsenal, but whenever I trust Arsenal with anything, they always let everyone down. I think, I'm gonna go with Arsenal. I'm not fully convinced with Chelsea in their current state right now. Didn't they play Arsenal earlier in the season, and Arsenal went down to 10 men and they still didn't beat them?
I will Google that result right now for you.
Myself, like you said, Lucas, I don't fully trust Arsenal. I don't fully trust Chelsea. Both these clubs have been a little up and down in their form as of late. Pound for pound, I look at players. I think Arsenal have a little bit of an X factor in Aubameyang. He is a man who can simply win a game himself, kind of thing. I think it'll come down a lot to which defense is able to get their shit together for 90 minutes, because we've seen both these back lines have horrific matches between Antonio Rudiger and David Luiz. Both of those are a little bit of a bomb scare at the back. Well, but the two of you are giving love to the red side of London. I guess I got to go blue. I got to go for Chelsea. I got to go for Frank Lampard. I'm going to see if maybe Mason Mount or, an Olivier Giroud, the man can pop up with a goal. I'm going to give. I'm going to say it's going to come down to a tight, like a 2-1 or a 3-2 type of thing.
The difference, I guess, with the Europa League final from last year, David Luiz is on an Arsenal now. No Hazard for Chelsea.
These are kind of those different sides in a sense. Last time Arsenal-Chelsea played was back in January. It was a 2-2 match. Of course, David Luiz got a red card in the game.
So we talked about Manchester United and was being disappointed in them. Let's do the same again for this time in the Premier League. Manchester United versus Southampton kicked off this week in the Premier League. This was something. This was a match that I think you really needed to win in terms of top 4 hopes. And it was so close. You were right there, but blew it.
It was unfortunate the way we drew the game, because in the 95th minute, and we were down a man because Brandon Williams got his eye ruined. I mean, he was playing a black eye in the FA Cup semifinal, right? So, that was a bit of a stinger. But we should have scored more.
To start it off, Stuart Armstrong scored a rather good goal on his finish there. big Stuart Armstrong Celtic lad. You love to see it. Manchester United, though, did turn it around in the first half. They had 2 very quick goals through Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial. Going into halftime, I was like, okay, this is United's game now. They're in control. They're going to go on to score another 1 or 2 in the second half and win this game comfortably. It looked so. But I'm going to give full credit to Southampton. I thought they were exciting going forward. They were solid at the back. They weren't intimidated by Old Trafford, albeit an empty Old Trafford. And like you said, 96 minutes, big Michael Obafemi, the Irish international. Great finish, actually. I thoroughly enjoyed that one. Smashed it home from right beside the box.
Yeah, no, I thought it was another underwhelming performance. United, the last 3 games we played have been all kind of questionable. It's kind of maybe concerned going these final 2 match days, although we have West Ham next.
Paul Pogba was shite.
Yeah, Paul Pogba had another a poor performance. There's no doubt about that. He did cause a goal to happen. So, ideally, United should beat Southampton. We were just right there, but
Southampton are a decent
they're
side.
not bad. I'm not
I
going
give
to
them credit.
discredit them. I thought they've been scoring goals since restart. I mean, Danny Ings has been on fire. They have a decent squad going right now. Sure, they're not hot. They're the table doesn't show it well, but they're in 11th, right behind Arsenal. So, geez, Arsenal's 10th. Fuck.
The thing is, that game was on the Monday, and that game if you had gotten the full 3 points, that would have propelled you into that top 4, top 3 potentially. The issue is Tuesday, Chelsea got a big 1-0 victory over Norwich City. This game was terrible. I sat through all 90 minutes. I wanted to just carve out my eyes. It was so bad.
Fair.
What are some things you'd rather be doing during that time, Liam?
I think I'd rather set fire to my legs. Actually, it was that bad, Lucas.
That sounds enjoyable.
Olivier Giroud scored. Again, the man just scores goals when needed. Other than that, Chelsea were dreadful going forward. Moving into Wednesday, let's talk about some more exciting matches here. We'll save you for last, Lucas, because why not? Tottenham Hotspur, they get a 3-1 victory over Newcastle. Decent result there for them. Jose Mourinho's men seem to be getting a little bit of momentum going right now. Wolves and Burnley, they draw 1-1. Burnley are actually very solid at the moment. I'm liking their form. Yeah.
They're 9th at the moment.
Manchester City. Yeah, Burnley are not a team that should be looked over.
Wow.
They're not bad.
Tied with Sheffield with 54, and the Wolves, that's tight. Oh my god.
Yeah, it is. Manchester City get a 2-1 victory over Bournemouth. It was close for the Cherries, but just not close enough. They scored right at the very end of that match to make it a little interesting. And then Arsenal 2-1 over Liverpool. You love to see it. You really do, Lucas.
You do.
Look, we're playing 4D chess out here, man. We wanted Arsenal to have some good momentum going to their FA Cup semi-final to knock out Manchester City. It's how we do it.
I've seen a lot of people like, oh, Liverpool are still hungover. No. Liverpool are they've won the league.
Yeah.
They have no reason to get up for a game anymore.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, you said, oh, the points, so you get a 100-point season.
Another
what
thing
does that matter?
Yeah. Another thing is people can say, oh, they're not trying. Man, they're still putting out one of their best lineups. Van Dijk.
They are, but I don't think it's that they're not trying. It's just they're not at their 100%.
Yeah.
They're not really top gear.
They're not really motivated, really. Motivated
exactly.
enough.
There's no motivation to it.
Not motivated enough.
I mean, it's not like you. It's not like you gotta stay in peak form for a Champions League match. You're out.
Yeah. You did win it very early compared to other past teams. So
earliest in history.
Earliest in history, really.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
I believe so.
That's a great record. Wow. Jesus Christ.
But
also the latest in history too, though, technically.
That is true as well. 2-1 for Arsenal. I mean, it's a big result for them. But let's talk about both the Arsenal goals, because first goal by Alexander Lacazette. I don't know what happened to big Virgil van Dijk, but he didn't know what to do. I don't know. He just kind of kicked it and it went right to him.
Comparing him to David Luiz, which is
that happened. That did happen.
That was the banter of the week.
And then, 10 minutes later, Reece Nelson scores a goal, and it was Alisson's turn to just give the ball away to the Arsenal players. So, it was a 10-minute display of shambolicness at the back for Liverpool, and you credit to Arsenal, they capitalized.
Yeah, I saw some stupid stats saying that Alisson made more mistakes than Karius, but Alisson has been at the club for almost 2 whole seasons. Karius played for like half a season.
Yeah.
So,
again, you look at the statistics and you go, this is a one-way street kind of game. Arsenal had 3 shots, 2 on target, 33% possession. To Liverpool's 24 shots, 8 on target, 67% possession. You just couldn't buy a goal that evening.
It's one of those days. It happens.
Exactly. And, at the end of the day, you're a Premier League champion. You don't really care.
Can I say that Martinez for Arsenal has actually been a big surprise for me? He's been a good goalieer for them.
Yeah, he's filling in well for Leno.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% he is. Let's move into Thursday's matches. Thursday matches has some interesting results as well. Everton Aston Villa draw 1-1. Big points for the bottom of the league there for Aston Villa. Southampton Brighton 1-1. Leicester City 2-0 over Sheffield United. That is massive in terms of European positionings. Sheffield, it just didn't happen for them that evening.
Yeah, no,
they weren't great.
Leicester needed the points because they're fighting for Champions League, but
yeah.
Wilder just went on a huge rant on his team.
Really? What was the rant?
He was just saying like something in the like of players aren't like focused enough in this game. Like, oh, we won this one game, and then now they're not motivated enough. Like, and he's like, this can't happen.
They're looking too far ahead.
They're
looking too far ahead.
Yeah, and he says like, this isn't acceptable. We can't afford doing this. And
yeah, exactly. He's in a European fight right now.
Well, if I'm Chris Wild, I'm a Sheffield supporter. I'd be kind of like, okay, I understand there's European positions on the line for us being, just promoted. But at the same time, let's take it one game at a time and not get too ahead of ourselves, right? We're not in Europe yet. Nothing's set in stone. We can still get it. I think I saw one TikTok from Nuno the Man. He's a TikToker. He's very funny. Maybe one day we'll get him on. But he was like, he made a bit of a skit about all these Premier League clubs fighting for Champions League. And at the end, he had Burnley and Sheffield. He was like, hey, Burnley, Sheffield, how about you? Oh, it's just nice to be talked about.
Not a single Sheffield United supporter dreamt about being in a potential European spot come this time this season. So full credit to what they've done. But yeah, this is a disappointing 2-0 result for them.
I think they've got what it takes to fight for European position.
I hope so.
They fought in the championship to get the promoted. Sure, the Premier League's a little different, but you got to bring that fight and spirit into these kind of games right now.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Manchester United. They finally got a good result here, 2-0 over Crystal Palace.
Good result.
It is a good result.
Yeah, 2-0 clean sheet. The result doesn't speak for the performance. I thought we could have
locked you were that trash, down but
Yeah, I thought that was a game where David De Gea actually did perform well. I thought Crystal Palace was good on the press. I was actually pleasantly surprised from what I saw for them.
Yeah, Palace had a good, 5 shots on target.
Eventually, we did kind of lock it down possession-wise and really didn't concede many chances. At the same time, you have to be excited though, seeing Martial and Rashford scoring goals. They're in good form right now. That was good, but the defense and midfield at times is a little shaky, and it's made me a little bit nervous going into these final matches against West Ham and Leicester. Especially West Ham was playing like out of their skin again, or out of nowhere.
West Ham got a 3-1 victory over Watford. In terms of bottom of the table, that is massive, massive points. Both teams are fighting right above the relegation zone. Watford, we'll talk about them in a second because I don't know what is happening there right now. It makes me, honestly... Do you want to talk about this right now, Lucas? Because it's making me upset. Watford are a team I really like. I like their players. I like their play style. I like that. I hate their board. I hate their owners. I hate their philosophy. It makes me sick how they bring in Nigel Pearson. The man has never been relegated from the Premier League. He's the guy you need here. He took over this club. They were bottom of the Premier League. They were doing nothing. He's brought them out of the relegation zone. Yes, only by one spot, but they're out of the relegation zone with 2 games left in the season, and they sack the man. Pardon? Why? For what reason? What do you have against this guy to say, hey, let's just see out the season. If you want someone else afterwards, fair enough. End of the year, let's bring him out. But 2 games left?
Yeah, the only reasoning I can see is because I presume the Premier League is going to restart again pretty soon after the break. So my only assumption is that they would want a guy who will be the manager next season, taking over right now with the players in charge right now. But you can still get relegated.
They're bringing just an intern. They're bringing just an intern manager.
Oh, it's just
got 2 games exactly. Yeah, they didn't hire anyone. I don't believe so. No, I last saw. But you have 2 games left. You can still get relegated. You're on this boat, and he's kind of stabilized this ship. Also, you're like, no, let's just bash this all around. And we got 2 games left. Let's see what happens. Let's roll the dice for the season. I saw that this morning. I was like, are you insane?
Yeah. Unfortunately for Watford, their final 2 games, they have Man City next.
Yeah.
And then they have Arsenal in the final match
yeah.
day.
It's not like they're playing easy teams. Like, these are huge matches for them.
They're currently 17th with 34 points. They're 3 points out of relegation. Aston Villa has 31. Bournemouth have 31. So they've kind of got a chance of staying in 17th, not getting relegated. That all comes down to if Aston Villa can really get a result against Arsenal next week, or if Aston Villa can beat West Ham or Bournemouth. Who's Bournemouth played next up here? Everton on the final match. It's gonna be tight.
Yeah,
like if Watford can get a win, I think they're safe. But it really matters with goal difference too. Really, like because if they could get smacked by both Arsenal and City. Yeah. And that wrecks their goal difference, and that means that Aston Villa or Bournemouth would just need a win.
Yeah, unless the Villa board are not a million miles away for goal differential.
Unless the board is some weird mentality, like, yo, I want to get relegated, just fire a manager and let's have total, cataclysmic effects in the locker room.
It's honestly possible. I've seen weirder things happen. I'm not going to get into it because it's a long story, but if any of you are interested in the Wigan story, it will blow your mind. Go to the FNG, is a channel on YouTube. Watch his description. It'll blow your mind what's happening with Wigan right now. It is shocking. Mm-hmm. But you stayed on Premier League sound topic. Let's get back to the matches. Let's talk about Norwich City Burnley, because Burnley got a 2-0 result there. Norwich City are terrible. They need to just leave and just not come back for a little bit. Just stay there.
I said I wanted Burnley relegated, and now they're in 9th.
Yep.
This always happens. I talk crap about a team or a player, and they all of a sudden just start playing well. Ronaldo, I talk crap about him.
You had an issue with the Burnley play style.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I do enjoy it though. Let's just
maybe it got better since then. That was back in December.
Southampton got a big victory over Bournemouth 2-0, and just today, Tottenham absolutely smacked up Leicester City. You'll love to see it.
It gives
Harry
me kind of hope.
Back. Harry Kane's back.
I mean, I see Leicester take performances like that. I'm like, that gives me hope going into that final match day. We got to play that game like it's a final.
Yeah. But I know last week I said does Brendan Rodgers choke in big moments? Then Leicester won a match against Sheffield United. But then now it's back to the reverse. So,
but credit to Spurs.
It's Mourinho time.
Honestly. Well, credit to Spurs. That's now they beat Newcastle 3-1. Now they beat Leicester 3-1. So they're starting to score more, and that's something you normally expect from Mourinho sides, to score many goals.
No, I give full credit. I watched the first half of them. I thought Harry Kane was very good. I thought Tottenham in general were very good. I mean, Leicester had a little bit of possession in the first half, but they got to the final third and they didn't know what to do with it. Meanwhile, Tottenham got the ball and they went and they scored.
And also, they're not really. I guess Leicester haven't been able to play their best defense because, suspensions and injuries, really.
Yeah, 100%. Just to look forward in the Premier League for a few match days, some interesting fixtures on the Monday when this video does go up. Sheffield United versus Everton and Wolves versus Crystal Palace. Both of those could be interesting matches. Man City, Watford, like we talked about. Then Wednesday are two big games. United, West Ham. You need points. West Ham needs points. We'll see what happens there. David Moyes playing or managing back at Old Trafford.
Matter of the fact is, if we beat West Ham, we will be in fourth.
Yes.
I'm confident that United will get fourth based on Leicester's performances. Because even if we draw West Ham, God, that game's gonna be like a cup final. Oh my God,
that's a big game. And then on that Wednesday is Liverpool Chelsea as well. Chelsea need result against Liverpool, 100%.
Leicester
it's coming down to big
Leicester
things.
have played 37 games. Spurs have played 37 games. This is gonna be nuts, man.
And then on that final Sunday, on that final day of the Premier League, like you're talking about, you go away to the King Power to play Leicester City. Huge match. Wolves Chelsea, huge match.
Mm-hmm.
And then down at the bottom, West Ham play Aston Villa. Huge in terms of relegation. That could be a decider right there. But yes,
let's see. When does United play West Ham next? We play on Wednesday, so I'll be interested.
Yeah.
I think one of the key reasons though we did really poorly against Chelsea, and somewhat, was the fact that Ole was actually resting players. I think Ole's been actually more focused on getting top four than the cup, which is, in my opinion, kind of dumb. Maybe I'm just kind of spitting here, but
worst case scenario, you win the Europa League. Well, you have to win the Europa League if you don't get top four.
I have a question for you guys.
No.
So let's say United get top four, right? They get the fourth place position, and then they win the Europa League. Who gets top? Does another team get Champions League?
No, I'm pretty sure if you win the Europa League and you still get top four, it's still the top four, and another Champions League spot goes to a different country.
Oh, okay. I was maybe the runners up, because I was wondering, because I'm like, wait, what if Wolves got like fifth? That could be their gateway.
Because Chelsea won the Europa League last year, but they finished in a Champions League spot.
Oh, okay. That's
fair enough. There you go. That's why Lucas is here, because he knows things. We have no idea about anything. We're Americans.
Wait, don't we live in Canada?
No.
Okay.
No, USA all the way.
But let's go on to the championship, because the championship has been a hell of a ride right now. Unfortunately, our Fulham supporter Greg is not here.
He's gonna
Leeds.
Good job, Leeds. You
Welcome
did it
back.
finally.
What, 19 years?
I think it's 16.
Bro, what?
Yeah, I think 16.
Okay, well, let's just put it this way. I've never seen Leeds in the Premier League as long as I've been watching football. And then there's Lucas.
This is actually...
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to definitely talk about Leeds, because that's a huge story. It's a huge club back in the Premier League. But this is probably the best week Fulham have had in a long time. Everything that they needed happened, and they're fighting for that automatic promotion. Of course, top three in the championship go up automatic. Fulham are currently fourth, and they're right around Brentford. They're 1 point behind them. But let's talk about Leeds. Of course, they not only guaranteed automatic promotion this week, they also won the title by defeating Derby County and seeing Brentford lose 1-0 to Stoke City. It's a huge club. It's a huge fan base in England, and it's huge to see them back in the Premier League, where rightfully they probably deserve to be. They have the money, they have the stadium, they have the fan base, they have the manager in Mr. Bielsa, who the Leeds fans have now labeled God. So we'll see what happens there, and we'll see what they can do next season in the Prem.
How far do you think they can go? Can they have a bit of a Sheffield Wolves magic, or will they be fighting for that?
I mean, if you look at their statistics, 73 goals scored this season so far and 35 goals against. I mean, we've seen the past few seasons with Fulham and Norwich. They've scored a ton of goals in the championship, let in probably far too many. They get to the Premier League, and they don't score. They just get scored on a ton. Yeah. And then, meanwhile, teams like Sheffield and teams like Wolves, who are a bit more defensively solid, are able to come up, and they're able to do well. So, you know what? With that 35 goals against, you never know. I mean, you never know what they're able to do, who they can bring in. They can attract some big names, I think.
Yeah, let's hope they don't adjust their roster or their squad too much. Like, not too many new signings. Obviously, a few is fine, but you don't want to go like Fulham, or especially when Bielsa was, I think, with Lille in Liga 1 when he first joined them. They brought in so many young players into the side, and they were just a huge disaster there. So stick to what they know for the first season in the Premier League. And yeah, look at examples of Sheffield United and I guess somewhat Wolves.
I really hope we see Brentford in the Premier League because I know they'll likely get relegated if they get promoted. But I want to see Brentford in there because they haven't been in the first division since the 1930s apparently.
I mean, they have a good goals against record too, so they'd be fine in the
great
Premier
goals
League.
against,
So
Brentford,
come on, Brentford, let's go.
43.
Unfortunately, that would mean maybe Greg's Fulham would not be in the Premier League. Sorry, Greg.
But I mean,
this time.
like I mentioned, both Brentford and West Brom picked up losses this week. Fulham win pulls them right up there. They're 2 points behind West Brom, 1 point behind Brentford. This again will come down probably to the final few match days.
Yeah, will West Brom bottle it? Will Brentford or Fulham capitalize, or will West Brom be cool about it?
There is only one match day remaining. Fulham go away to Wigan, who won 8-0, I believe.
That's true.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know why that occurred, but that did. So good job, Wigan. We see West Brom hosting QPR. That's not the easiest match there. And Brentford hosting Barnsley.
Who are bottom? No, second
expect
bottom.
Brentford to win. Expect West Brom to win. Sorry, Fulham. You're going into the playoffs. That's my prediction right there.
Since we're still talking about relegation promotion, shout out to my family's local club. They avoided relegation.
Woo!
From the Polish.
Polska!
From the Polish, I think, championship. So
That's
they're not
beautiful.
a great team, but yeah, Odra Apola is the name of the club. It's right here. Apparently, they won 1-0. I think if they lost this game, they would have been relegated. So big game in Poland.
What division are they in?
Watch this on TV?
No, I couldn't. I have no idea how to watch these matches.
You don't have coverage of the second Polish division on Canadian
if I
television?
Google this team, results don't even come up for them. It's and articles are all in Polish, which I can barely read. But yeah.
Are they in the third or fourth division?
No, I think they're one division above Ekstraklasa.
Pierwsza Liga, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, you're right. They're the second tier.
Yeah, so that's a championship with Poland. Fun fact, in Poland, fans are allowed to go to the matches now.
Yeah, there's a few different European countries opening up. I know France has. Celtic played both Lyon and Nice this week with fans in attendance. So
I know there's a guy in my Twitch chat who went to a couple of the final Wisla Kraków match. I think, I don't know if it's set in stone. There was a couple of players retiring, like a old player named Wasilewski.
Oh,
he retired. Yeah. Kuba is still kicking. Polish legend. I thought he was gonna retire when the guy in the chat said it's a sad day. I'm like, did he retired? I didn't know. Please don't tell me that. But
yeah,
he's still kicking.
Yeah, Poland's been opening up. My parents have Polish TV, and they've been watching Polish concerts, and there's just people watching them in the stands, and it's like, okay, wow.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, before we go back to normal European football, I want to bring up my random football fact that I found. It's kind of correlates.
Hit me with it.
Correlates to Eastern European football. Did you know back in the 80s, 70s, there was once called the Balkan Cup? I would love to see a cup like this return, but I know when it happened.
Cup.
This was played in the 80s, 60s, 70s, until basically Yugoslavia disappeared, or until I don't know my politics too much, but anyways, back on topic. Yeah, no, it involved teams like Romania, Bulgaria, Yugoslavia, Albania, Hungary. Who else is in this tournament? Greece and Turkey. Fun fact, Albania won this tournament back in 1946, so they have an international trophy. There you go.
Oh, it was international teams?
Yeah, these are all international teams. So it was.
It's kind of like the Euros, just for the Balkan region.
Yeah, that's cool. It was founded in 1929, abolished in 1980.
There
so
you go.
I
It's got a long history, actually.
Yeah. I kind of wish that something like this came back, because I love Eastern European football. I love the Slavic
I feel
nations.
there'd be a few
riots,
maybe crowd issues.
Yeah.
A little bit of political tension between a few of those countries, but I'm on board for it. Let's go Balkans. Let's do it.
It'd be kind of hard to do that, considering we already have the Euros every summer, but I don't know.
No pyro, no party. That's what I always say.
I think one sec, because fun fact, Ferenc Puskás, Hungary icon, had 8 goals in this tournament. The most scored was by Lulio Bodola. Probably never heard that name, but fun fact. I mean, Lucas, you're saying?
I have nothing to say.
Oh. I don't know. I want to see a tournament like this come back,
That'd be cool, yeah.
Poland have a chance at an international trophy, You maybe bring in... Well, I mean, Russia would cause some issues, I feel. But anyways, let's have it.
What do you want to move on to now?
Let's go to Serie A. It's been a very active league recently compared to the rest of
Serie A.
Serie A
Serie A is over. It's done.
Is it officially over?
No, but yeah, it's going to take a lot for Inter Atalanta to win the league.
Nah, it's not going to happen. But
yeah, I mean, I want to give credit to Atalanta. They're giving a fantastic fight this season. They're scoring goals for fun. How many goals have they scored so far this season, Lucas?
94.
94! I like that. That's thoroughly enjoyable.
But,
But Juventus are good.
Last week we mentioned Sassuolo, and I mentioned them as the team to watch. They tied Juventus 3-3.
Look at this man.
I saw that,
Look at this man.
And you were not wrong. They score a lot, but they concede a lot as well. So,
I mean, it's also Juventus. They have not been the best defensively over the past few weeks. They're conceding way too many goals for my liking. But they find a way to win, and they find a way to get points to win.
They aren't really winning recently.
No, but they're winning the league.
Fair enough.
It's not.
Well, I'm gonna say, if Serie A had started, the season after COVID, after the break, I think Zlatan Ibrahimovic and AC Milan would be in a title fight right now.
I would say Champions League fight. They've been playing really well. 5-1 over
They've played
Bologna.
very well. And
Did I pronounce that right?
Bologna.
Thank you. I swear to God, me it's slagged.
I mean, I watched when they did play Juventus, and honestly, they were deserving of the victory they got. I liked their play style. I like how quickly they transitioned from back to front. And yeah, they're scoring goals, which is huge for that club, which have been lacking in that department for the past handful of seasons.
Napoli's also been getting points too. They've been getting results.
Now, my question: if Juventus play Lazio tomorrow or today, as this is being released, if Lazio win that match, do you still think Serie A is over with 5 points between Inter and Lazio if that happens?
How many matches are left?
4 after tomorrow.
Well, there's maybe is potential. It likely won't happen.
Juventus still have to play Roma, I believe.
Yeah.
Juventus. Okay, so to finish the season, I'll give you a run through of all these clubs, and we'll go through it. To finish off the season, Juventus play Lazio, Udinese, Sampdoria, Cagliari, Roma, and then Lyon in the Champions League. So you could argue, Lazio and Roma could give them an interesting match, and you never know what happens against these smaller clubs like Cagliari, Udinese, and Sampdoria. Now to go through Inter Milan's final matches, let me find them. Inter Milan, their final games in Serie A, they play Fiorentina, Genoa, Napoli, Atalanta. That's a tougher run than Juventus have. Agreed?
Yeah. What about Lazio?
Lazio.
Because
you still considering Lazio in the title fight?
If they beat Juventus, they have the same amount of points as Inter.
Yeah, that's fair. They play Juventus, Cagliari, Verona, Brescia, and Napoli. Again, not the easiest. It's kind of similar to Juventus, I think, actually. And let's take a look at Atalanta's games because I thoroughly enjoy them, and I really wish they were Serie A champions this season, but they're not.
Hey man, dark horses in the Champions League.
They 100% they are. Atalanta finish off the season with Bologna, AC Milan, Parma, Inter Milan. I think that game against AC Milan could be a bit of a goal fest.
Yeah.
Expect like a 5-5 draw.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk with AC Milan recently, though, because, with Ragnik coming in from Leipzig potentially as the director and potentially coach, people are talking about, we don't want, especially AC Milan fans, we don't want to get rid of Pioli. He's been doing such a great job for the club right now.
Yeah.
Now, I can understand that they're thinking because, why would you want to change something that's working well? Something that's working for the first time since probably Gattuso's time at AC Milan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would you get rid of Pioli? Would you keep Pioli and just have Ragnik as a director, or have Ragnik as a director and coach?
I rather have him as a director and keep Pioli until the ship starts to break, and just in case,
I mean, you don't know, is this the new AC Milan, or is this just a hot run of form?
Yeah.
You never know.
Form is temporary, right? So,
but will class be
Inter Milan for me, if they had beat Roma, I'd say they're title contenders. But if Juventus gets even 1 point, Inter Roma was today.
Yeah.
I'm saying if Inter was able to beat Roma, they'd be in that title fight. The way I look at it, if Juventus can even get 1 point off Lazio, I think that's Serie A done.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah, it'll be an interesting finish. It'll likely be Juventus. We all know. That's usually how it goes. Usually there'll be a tight fight for the Serie A from time to time.
No,
and
it's not often a tight fight.
Well, it was like
it's
2
really,
seasons ago,
usually
I think. With Napoli, it was.
Yeah, but last season it wasn't.
Game.
Many seasons in the past decade it wasn't.
Okay, I'm wrong. Thank you, Lucas.
But let's move on to some some club that's actually been crowned as champions. Los Blancos.
Yes. Hala Madrid.
Deserve it.
Why are you celebrating?
Unfortunate, because I don't know. I thought they were deserved champions, and
honestly,
it
is very nice to see them win. Not only is it nice to see a bit of a shake-up in La Liga, to see Real Madrid crowned champions, but it's good to see the better team winning, because Barcelona maybe on paper has better players, maybe, but they're not a good team. They're not a unit. They're not a cohesion. They have Messi. That's what they've got, and they got a bunch of angry players and angry board members and angry coaches and bullshit behind the scenes.
Hey, Real Madrid, they won the title without Ronaldo, which is pretty nice to see. They didn't need him.
Kareem,
they
the
played
dream,
like a unit.
Benzema.
They played like a unit, and you didn't really hear them. They didn't rely on Eden Hazard, who he's been injured for most of the season, so they've been just playing as a unit. Eden Hazard, once again, the best out of that team. And Kareem Benzema, arguably one of the more underrated players in Europe. I'm not saying
He's
most.
Been brilliant this season.
Yeah.
And we gotta give full credit to Sergio Ramos, who's had a fantastic season defensively and goal scoring wise. Right, in double digits for the season.
We talked about him a couple podcasts ago. If he's like the second best defender in Europe, he can arguably be the best defender in Europe.
He scored
won a lot.
He scored a 7th and 3rd La Liga goals.
Yeah, and also we can't forget about Rafael Varane, who's been, I think, he's been overshadowed by Sergio Ramos this season. So
we have to give big credit. We're gonna give big credits to Zinedine Zidane. He's come back as Los Blancos manager, and he's secured La Liga. I mean,
but
it's something that hasn't happened for a little bit in La Liga.
If we're talking about Zidane, we gotta talk about Mr. Gareth Bale, who I hope gets away from that club. He's been warming that bench. There's something wrong there. Zidane doesn't even like talking about Bale.
Did you see the when they were celebrating the trophy? What Bale was doing? Just standing on the side. It's like, I feel bad for the guy because he clearly doesn't fit into this team.
Get him back to England.
At the same time, he chooses to be there. He chooses to not join the team. He's sitting on the bench. He has his mask over his eyes. He's taking a nap. I kind of enjoy it,
Go back to England, man. go join Spurs again, maybe, or go to United if we can't get Sancho for.
It's simple. It's simple. Wales, golf, Madrid. It's simple.
I get it. You like the Madrid weather. You know you don't want to come back to rainy England.
He likes the Madrid money. That's what it is.
I mean the weather helps too.
It helps with his golf.
Yeah.
So
Atletico Madrid have rescued their season. They were terrible about 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
They're up to third spot. They are tied with Sevilla, who are fourth, but they're not terrible form. They're getting some good results.
I mean, they finished the season in third place, which is good for them. They were outside the top 4 before the restart. Mm-hmm. So it's good for them. Hopefully things start to transition well for them, and hopefully things go well for them in the Champions League and next season.
Yeah. Barcelona ended off the season with a 5-0 victory over Alaves.
I think it was a match before that where Barca won. Who did they beat before Alaves?
Oh, shit. Was it
for Alaves? No, they lost 2-1 to Osasuna.
Oh yes, I know Messi scored a free kick in that game, or he scored, right?
I think he scored.
Osasuna had a player sent off, and then
we gotta talk about that.
Messi scored.
They lost Osasuna for free kicks. Oh my god! But yeah, Messi scored the free kick, and he didn't give a shit. He's like, oh, I don't care.
Well, he said after the match, if they keep playing like this, they're gonna lose to Napoli.
100%.
I'm not surprised. 100%. Napoli's been informed. Napoli have approved a point. And Barca, unfortunately, we talk about them all the time. If you're a Barca supporter, I apologize. Your stay of the club has been kind of dwindling recently, of course. But
nothing wrong with fans feeling some sort of hardships
from time to time.
Yeah, like Liverpool felt it for a long time. Manchester United felt it for a long time, kind of still feeling it.
Yeah, no trust, I know. AC Milan fans now. Yeah. Everyone's like, is Barca the next AC Milan? I don't think so.
No, like how the money works in La Liga, it really favors Real Madrid and Barcelona. So that type of thing is never going to happen to Barcelona.
Yeah, no.
Unless if things go really bad.
Yeah.
I think the best thing Barcelona can do is fix their board, fix their owners, fix their chairmen, because that is the issue. I mean, the players.
So many rumors circulating that they want Xavi in, but Xavi's like, I'm chilling Qatar still, man.
Making his bank.
The thing what pisses me off about Barca right now is how they want Setien out. I'm like, dude, the guy's been here for how long right now?
I remember when he first came in, everyone was going crazy, like, oh, yeah, Setien ball, we love this, we love you, Setien.
Well, that's every time they hire a new manager.
I did not ever say that, Lucas.
No, it wasn't you. I'm talking about Barcelona fans when he first came in.
They're fickle. Barcelona fans and Real Madrid fans are the two most fickle groups on earth. Real Madrid is arguably the worst. They boo Ronaldo and they can't stand a 1-1 draw. But Barcelona fans, they think their club is untouchable half the time. And you know what? For a good chunk of the past decade, they have been untouchable. But you know what? There's times where they gotta wake up and say, "Hey, we're able to be beaten. Our playstyle isn't impossible to crack. Our players will leave us eventually, whether it's through retirement or being sold. We're not the tiki taka Pep Guardiola Barcelona we were 10 years ago."
Matter of the fact is it's not down to the manager. It's the players too, right? You don't have prime
dog shit.
You don't have prime Xavi, Iniesta running the midfield with flourishing with Sergio Busquets anymore. You don't have Carlos Puyol in that back line leading the charge. You still have Messi, sure, but it's just the players.
Even you go further back, you don't have Thierry Henry on that wing. You don't. Henrik Larsson.
Oh my god, that's the thing. It's gonna be hard to replicate what they had.
Yeah, 100%.
They had a golden generation of players coming through, and they'll be back to the top sooner or later. They'll get there faster than AC and Manchester United. There's no doubt about that. But Barca fans, stay patient. This could be a rough ride.
And then finally, some tears for Leganes. They tied Real Madrid in the last match day. Wasn't enough. They needed a victory, and they are relegated from La Liga.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Leganes.
And Celta Vigo survived once again.
Yeah, you like that club for some weird reason.
No,
and they're.
I just.
But
you just like Iago Aspas.
I just like Thiago Aspas is Superman heroics of last few years.
Espanyol also gone. Some other news regarding La Liga. Mr. Unai Emery is heading to Villarreal.
Good evening.
Was he there before? So, I swear I thought he managed them in the past. Maybe it was Valencia, but wow. Yeah, Granada finished 7th. What?
Yeah, Granada had a good season.
But yeah, one topic we totally differently missed is Man City getting their ban appealed. No surprise for me. I'm kind of not shocked. A lot of people were telling me, "Oh, United are gonna get top 5 or top 4. They'll be fine. You know, look at Champions." I'm like, nothing's set in stone yet, man. Okay.
So yeah, basically to cover it, Manchester City had a 2-year ban from the Champions League for financial fair play breachings, but that was overturned by the Court of Arbitration, I believe. Basically, money talks. They had good lawyers. They were able to turn it around.
And Liam, the reaction was totally calm. Everyone was fine with it, right?
No.
No.
Was anyone really surprised by this? Did anyone expect anything opposite of this to happen?
No, but I mean, even like the Liga president was pissed off, and numerous managers were pissed off. I like how Pep Guardiola is trying to defend it, and he's like saying, "Oh, you know, we tried to sign Alexis Sanchez, but we could not afford it. We tried to sign Harry Maguire, but we could not afford it. We could not pay the money that Manchester United did."
I guess guys have to apologize to us now because we are innocent now. We are 100% innocent.
Here's the worst part. He goes at managers like Arsene Wenger and, you know, Sir Alex Ferguson, saying they spent a lot of money to win the league. Ferguson didn't spend millions on it. He didn't go after a world-class player for each position. I'm pretty sure Ferguson was pretty content in bringing homegrown talent and bringing stars that didn't really shine but turn them into gems.
Arsene Wenger's from his end, from like the late 2000s to the end of his tenure, he wasn't able to spend any money, if that seemed like.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and Pep Guardiola, 50 million on fullback. Oh, that fullback's not good enough. 50 million on another fullback. Okay. Oh, another 50 million on a fullback. Okay. Another 70 million on a center midfielder. Okay. 60 million on a goalkeeper.
Let's talk about financial fair play, because I think it was Gary Neville, I believe, who said this decision right here basically rules no credibility for financial fair play. Go nuts, spend whatever you want, sign whoever you want. If you get taken to court, you can beat UEFA. You can beat whatever rules that FIFA have in place. So I kind of agree with him. I mean, if Man City can just have some hotshot lawyers and spend a few million here and there, I think the fine is something like 20 million euros, I want to say.
Yeah.
The man makes that in an afternoon, Mr. Sheikh Mansour. He doesn't care about that. That's literally like 5 cents to him. So it's a joke.
What annoys me is lots of smaller clubs have suffered because of financial fair play. Many clubs have had to restrict their spending because of financial fair play. Like Inter Milan, they haven't been able to spend that much money until last summer, and now they're free to spend more. AC Milan, they were banned from Europe because of their spending.
Yep. And and if you look at the spending between AC Milan and Manchester City, it's night and day. Man City spent billions, where AC Milan spent millions.
Now AC Milan also had fraudulent money, but that's a different story.
AC Milan's a different story completely. They're a joke of a club as they are.
But yeah, like clubs like Roma, they always had to sell good players so that they can maintain financial fair play. And
didn't Barcelona even have a transfer ban?
Yeah, well, that was for something completely different. That was from being
Okay. Also, we should talk about a league we've actually never touched too much upon.
Yes. I know you're going to talk about huge scenes. I'd love to see it.
In Turkey.
Yeah. Istanbul Beşiktaş. I don't know how to pronounce, but yes.
Başakşehir. I probably butchered that.
Congratulations. You never know. I don't know. I'm not Turkish.
Champions. Here's a quote from Mr. Elia on it. Yes, it's unique. Also because we basically don't have any fans. In Istanbul, everyone is a fan of Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, or Beşiktaş. That title is on the resume of the club, and the players will be legends of the club, but that's it.
Yep. It's is huge for that club. You know, they're not the big
Yeah.
boys. They're not even the smaller boys in terms of Turkish clubs. They're like a C team, and here they are doing big things.
I know they were in the I think they were in the Champions League a few years ago, or at least the
Yeah, but in
qualifying
terms of like
stages.
in terms of like exposure, you have your Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, you have your Besiktas, and then you have them.
Come to Besiktas.
But Besiktas, Galatasaray, and Fenerbahce aren't even in the top 3.
Are they not?
No, it's
what
second
is happening
place.
in the Super League?
Second place is Trabzonspor. Third place is Sivasspor.
I'm looking for my phone.
But yeah, this is that's kind of surprising. Like, I haven't really followed the Turkey League at all, so this is everything here is just shocking to me.
Super League.
Well, let us get into TikTok questions because
that's just wild. I'm looking at it. What happened here?
well, let's talk about it because one of our first TikTok question is: can you talk about Galatasaray, a club that me and Liam are somewhat fond of? I think we talked about it in the past, but yeah, they're having a poor season compared to usual. All we know about Fenerbahce is that they've always signed, marquee names. You know, they signed Falcao, Drogba, Schneider.
I'm gonna look at I think Turkish football had a bit of a golden moment. You know, let's say 5 to 10 years ago, where the names of Schneider, Drogba. You know, big names were going to this country, and the teams were doing well. I remember Galatasaray going toe to toe with Real Madrid, or it was Juventus, and they were doing well in European competitions. In terms of current day, I think it's definitely the league has taken steps backwards.
Yeah.
Albeit, I do think it goes hand in hand with the political scene of Turkey. Probably. A little bit of unrest in that nation. I'm not going to get too deep into that because I know that's a heated debate. But, big marquee signings, I don't think, are looking at Turkey anymore. They're looking for teams like China or teams like
Qatar.
So in terms of the Turkish Super League, maybe a bit of competition is what these big clubs need to get back on the top form.
I'm
I mean, some of the best fans in the world too.
I know that. Well, here's my thing with my thing with Galatasaray. There's always that one team in Europe that you can never really. They don't ever go far, but they can always cause an upset in the group stage.
You always enjoy watching them.
Yeah, Lucas,
I know some. I don't think it's Galatasaray, but I think Fenerbahce, their spending hasn't been really smart. Like I feel like they have been under a lot of financial pressure in the past year or so. So I don't know what's going on with them.
No, they've got bloody Quaresma and Pepe, the Portuguese lads. Quaresma, come to Besiktas.
Bum, 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 bum.
It was like, yeah. Okay, I'm coming to Besiktas.
Everyone went to Besiktas that transfer window.
That's a great transfer announcement. The one thing I'll say about Galatasaray is that I saw one picture back in the 90s. It was United playing away at Galatasaray. And
yes. Welcome to hell.
Manchester United enters hell or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it was
my
red
favorite
flares.
My favorite Galatasaray moment, I think it was when Juventus went there, and they're at the airport, and the fan goes, "Why do you have to play Juventus? We'll just burn them out of Turkey." I was like, "Yes, let's go, let's do it."
Up the
I was all on board. Yes.
I don't know, man.
I'm all on board
like,
for
what
that.
the hell? Sounds crazy. Next question from TikTok is from Mr. Edgar. I'm sorry. Edgar. There you go.
Edgar.
Ballon d'Oro contenders or possible winner video. Well, we've said multiple times that Robert Lewandowski will be winning the Ballon d'Or, but for contenders, I will probably go definitely De Bruyne. But who would you put third? Maybe I want to go De Bruyne though.
Oh, you put Messi, Ronaldo there as contenders, obviously.
Yeah, Messi, Ronaldo, 100%.
I think Ronaldo and Messi might go back in that conversation. Ronaldo was picked it up for Juventus. He's scoring again.
Do you put Benzema or Ramos?
Yeah, Ramos is a good shout.
If Ramos could win La Liga and Champions League. You never know.
I mean, if he plays a big role in the Champions League, then yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's been played a big role in the league. But
can Mbappe or Neymar squeeze in there if they do a good run
No,
in the Champions League?
No, because their domestic league ended so
You
early.
think so? Okay.
This is going to be a weird Ballon d'Or.
Very weird.
It hasn't been very fluid. I do see it going to the big Polish lad. I gotta be honest.
Yes. Okay, next question. Thoughts on what you guys think the top 4 will be in the Premier League next season? So it's a bit early to say. Right now, as I'm
Liverpool
looking at
City.
I'll go Liverpool City. We'll go Chelsea. United 4th.
So for next season, I'm gonna go
Bit of unchanged.
First place, Manchester City.
Mm-hmm.
Second place, Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
Third place. I want to say Chelsea, but they need a center back before I want to say Chelsea.
well,
Well,
they're,
with United,
they're
I
third
think
right
United.
now.
I think United. You know, they can go into
United,
third, but
yeah, they can.
they have that absolute, slab head of a center back who's. I will admit, he's not even worth 80 million. He's not worth 70. He's worth like 40 million. He's paying average. He does a few things very good, and most of the time he's not a good center back. United need to fix their defense, just like Chelsea.
I'm gonna say Chelsea 3rd, United 4th.
I think next season will be the season that we will fully understand if Ole is the man. Because Ole's had, he's had a very good run of form. Next year, if he can actually, maybe push City or Liverpool, Chelsea, yeah, that'll be key.
Just to be different and maybe controversial, I'll just say, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and then Arsenal, because
I can see that.
I always trust Arsenal with these type of things, and they always never live up to it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep it going. I'm gonna keep saying Arsenal until they actually do it.
Here's a good question from Mr. Andrew. Do you agree that Jose Mourinho has never been the best manager in the world, as he needs world-class players to make him look it? Ooh, I don't know.
I don't agree with that. I think.
Are you disagreeing?
Yeah, I think any sort of manager that is like that rated as the best in the world has always had the top players playing for them. Even Klopp right now, he has the best center back in the world and one of the best goalkeepers in the world with one of the best front threes in the world. Jose Mourinho, yes, his Chelsea team was fantastic. Their team were loaded with a lot of cash, but he still had to get the job done. He was still competing with strong sides in the Premier League. He still got to multiple Champions League, deep runs in the Champions League. He won a Champions League with Porto, which isn't a weak team.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it is a weak team compared to
Portuguese
others.
team I am looking at right now. They didn't. I mean, the best player was of course Deco.
I mean, yeah, there are strong players on that side for sure.
But I mean, you don't ever expect, a Portuguese team never win the Champions League. Maybe back then, maybe because we were a bit young at the time.
I mean, I don't know if. I don't think he's overrated. I think Jose Mourinho is a brilliant manager. I think he's done fantastic things with what he had. I mean, let's be honest. His second place finish with Manchester United was a great achievement for him, because that team did not deserve second place in the Premier League. No, they didn't. I don't think he's overrated. I think he's a guy who, hey, if you want me to be the best, I need to have the best, which is, like Luke said, every great manager has had the best players.
Yeah, like they won the treble with Inter, which no Italian team has matched, and people have said that Juventus they've had sides that you could argue might have been better than that Inter side player for player, possibly. I'm not gonna. That's an argument for another day.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
I'm looking at this the 2004 FC Porto team, and the 2004 Champions League was weird. You want to know what the semifinal was?
It was Porto, United, Monaco, and Arsenal?
No.
Or was it Deportivo?
Deportivo was in the semifinal in 2004. How football's changed.
Who was on Deportivo?
Let me check. This is
Some notable names.
The 2004 team.
This is a series I'd love to bring in the 90th minute as we look back through the years of the Champions League and go how the game has progressed.
I don't think I can show the team
too
much, but fun fact: you want to know the leading scorer for Porto that season in the Premier League?
Who was that?
South African legend Benny McCarthy.
Benny McCarthy.
20 goals in the Portuguese league. So to say the fact that Jose's needed world-class players to win, I don't know, man. He's done magical things for the clubs.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure La Liga, the Segunda Division, Deportivo are struggling right now. I do want to check that quickly.
Deportivo La Coruña.
Yeah, I think they got relegated. Yeah, they there might be one more match left, but I think they're in 19th right now, which is relegation, and they're 1 point off safety.
That would be to go down to the 3rd division, right?
Yeah, Segunda Division B.
Shock.
But Malaga's they didn't get relegated. They were close.
Malaga are not good though.
I remember they used to be decent. They actually went to the quarterfinal, I think.
They were seconds away from a semifinal.
Yeah.
They had a good team and a good manager, Manuel Pellegrini.
Isco before his Madrid days.
Anyways, let's get back to the TikTok questions. We'll talk about this kind of stuff more.
That's a topic for another day, 100%.
Thoughts on the Belgian national team? I don't know if we've actually gone in depth with this one. We talked about other national teams. Belgium's like Lucas has said, their center backs are not the best at the moment, but they've of course still have very good players in Eden Hazard, De Bruyne, Lukaku, Jordan Lukaku, Meunier.
Out of all the Belgian players in the world, you named Jordan Lukaku.
Yuri Tielemans, in my opinion, is one of the hottest young players in the world right now. Not a lot of people talk about him. So
Castagne is better than Jordan Lukaku.
You're not wrong.
In terms of Belgium, I think they're a little bit overrated.
Okay.
They've won jack shit.
They made it the World Cup semifinals.
It's pretty good.
That's nice. Do they want a winner's medal for that?
Only one team gets the winner's medal.
Exactly. So how they pipe down when they win something, they can flaunt themselves as the FIFA #1 ranked team in the world. Because frankly, on their day, France can smash them. Germany can smash them.
No.
I think Spain can do it to them.
If Germany could smash them, why did Germany get grouped in the 2018 World Cup? And why did Roberto Martinez lead Belgium to the semifinals of the World Cup?
I do believe that
things happened in that group. Germany just kind of went, you know what? We don't really want to be here. We want to go back home. We got some drinking to do. I'm done with this entire tournament.
Don't give them excuses for their misfalling.
I'll be honest, I think the Belgian team has underachieved with the players they've had. I think it's a better way of looking at it.
Before Roberto Martinez, for sure.
He's actually not very good.
He made the World Cup semifinal. The guy before him was a fraud. Whatever, Willems or whatever his name was, that guy was a fraud.
Yeah.
They got knocked out by Wales in the 2016 Euros.
Thing.
They were good in the World Cup.
This World Cup semifinal.
Brazil didn't have a bad team.
Hold on. You keep hyping up this World Cup semifinal appearance as if it's the greatest thing in the history of the world. Who did they play in that semifinal?
France.
Okay. And to get there, they beat Japan, correct?
They beat
Brazil.
They beat Brazil.
Brazil was what Brazil was.
Brazil was pretty good.
Brazil won the Copa America the year after.
Brazil was very good.
Neymar, Marquinhos, Casemiro, man, what is wrong with you? Were you smoking?
I'm loving your Brazilian accent right now.
It's not great, but you smoking glue, man. I didn't like the 2014 Brazilian side, but I like the current team they have. I like what they have. Piss right off.
What do you like about it more?
It's just a lot stronger. You don't have pish players here, like fucking Fred at striker.
And Fred at striker was a shocking decision.
And Oscar, who pissed off to China like 2 years later.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go.
Now things can be very different in football. Belgium could have been knocked out by Japan in the round of 16, and we'd be speaking very differently right now.
Like Lucas said earlier, their defense is what kind of is a bit of a.
I mean, their defense is fine. It's just it's getting older.
But going forward, it's a question mark.
Yeah, because Boyata, I don't think he's the future.
Dedrick's not it, boys. Trust me.
All right, let's talk about another national team here. I think we got. This is another controversial one. I think we've talked about this. Can you talk about the future of English football?
I feel like we talk about that every week.
Every week. Look, it's promising. Well, let's keep it that way. We talk about this a lot. You know, Foden, Greenwood, Sancho, the list goes on. Reece James, Brandon Williams, Tomori, Rashford. How can I forget about him? Mason Mount. Like, the list goes on.
I mean, there's a bunch of players coming through from Chelsea, Manchester United, Arsenal. I think some from Spurs. There's some in the lower parts of the first division as well. There's some promising players in the second division as well. Look, there's so many promising players coming through for England. It seems like there's a new promising winger coming out every week. So, like, it should be exciting. You should be excited. It's just wait till just enjoy the moment. Enjoy the team if they play well.
Defense is good enough. Do you think their defense is good enough?
Joe Gomez and Tomori could be a good future.
I believe they will have a better decade in this 20s than they did in like the 10s. They'll have a better decade. They'll go. I think they can arguably win the. Do
you think this quote unquote golden generation of English talent will achieve more than the previous golden generation of English talent?
Think I'm call me crazy now. I think they'll win the 2024 Euros.
There you go. I'm gonna call you crazy.
They could go deep 2026 World Cup. Most of their promising players will be in their prime.
I think they can go deep in this 2021 Euros.
That's actually true.
But I mean, the only thing that could wreck them is the media. The media always finds a way to overhype the team, put the pressure on. But can these group of players maybe negate that?
Well, will Gareth Southgate be the man, or will they have to look somewhere else? Maybe.
I don't think he'll be the manager in 2026.
I hope I mentioned Phil Foden earlier. I think I did.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's looking very good. 2 thumbs up.
4.
Maybe 3 if I had a third.
Do we get 6 from Liam?
I'll give him a 1.
So we got 5 thumbs up, okay.
Ibrahim, I don't know, he asked, how do you feel about the rise of King Dav Luiz and the fall of Big Virgil? Go Gooners.
I'm gonna swipe on that question and give
swipe left.
Skip.
Here's 2.
What?
Okay, here's 3 questions that we've kind of gone through. Noah asked, in your opinion, what would be the best country to host the World Cup?
Australia.
I'm gonna go with England. I'll go with England because they already have the stadiums and they breathe football.
Australia.
Germany.
Unfortunately, the pressure will be way too high for them.
Where'd you say, Lucas?
Germany.
Germany would be good.
Germany would probably be good. I'm for Australia.
Yeah, I like that shout.
But I'm just thinking about it like time zones and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how time zones are for people in Asia when matches are played in the World Cup in Europe or North or South America. But I know in Asia it's pretty bad for Europe and North and South America, I'm pretty sure. So that's...
My thing is every continent has hosted the World Cup except Australia. It's time they do.
I hope at some point we see India host it.
I mean, that'd be wild.
I would like an African one again.
Let's go back to South Africa, but India would be something, man. I don't know. I don't know, saying, but think
of this. The World Cup final, if it was in Australia, would be held at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, and I'm pretty sure that's a 110,000 capacity stadium.
Wow,
jeez,
that'd be nuts for a World Cup final.
How can you have a stadium that big?
Because it's Melbourne.
Here's a question from our boy Dylan. I'm pretty sure. What do you think about Takumi Minamino choosing Liverpool over a team getting a game time? Lucas, what do you think?
I mean, let's be patient. He's been looking decent from the restart. Maybe it takes a lot of new players coming to Liverpool. They usually take a good amount of time to adjust and get used to the system and start performing well. I think time will tell whether this was the right decision. Like, if he barely gets any play time next season, then maybe he did make the wrong decision. But at the current time, it's too early to tell. Like, we've seen many players in the past join Liverpool, take time to adjust, and then eventually get more playing time and excel.
I have not been overly impressed with him, I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
I think the games I have seen him play, he's been a little bit non-existent.
I mean, that's a fair criticism.
Will the 2020s be the decade of Real Madrid dominance?
It very well could be Real Madrid, Bayern dominance with them having such young squads going into next handful of years.
Good point. But I will give it to Bayern this time. I think their signings have been great, the business they've done. But it could also be an English club, you know?
I don't know if there's going to be a solid club dominance anymore. I don't think we'll see like the Barcelona dominance of like the 2010s. I don't know if we'll see that.
It could realistically be Man City once they get a hold of them how to win a Champions League. They still have to learn that book.
What do you guys think about the Ecuadorian national team? Well, I mean, Ecuador was good in the 2006 World Cup. They got second in their group. They finished above Poland, which annoyed me. I remember Poland losing that match in the first group stage match against them, and I wasn't too happy, and Ecuador did pretty well for their standards in that tournament. But
yeah, like Waz said, Antonio Valencia, Ener Valencia, that's it.
Someone asked about Ukraine, but we already talked about Ukraine in a previous episode, I'm pretty sure.
And Pav went in depth with them as well.
So yeah, check out the Pav video if you haven't.
Which club do you think would dominate the world if they were to have past players in their current form? Salah, probably Chelsea. Chelsea because they've had Salah, KDB, Lukaku.
So basically, if clubs didn't sell the players they had.
Man City would likely have, I think, maybe Jadon Sancho, but they would still dominate.
Chelsea would be very good.
Yeah.
Dortmund.
Yeah.
Dortmund would be very good.
So Ajax.
Atletico Madrid.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that.
Celtic. Gary Hooper.
Yeah, you'd probably get past the round of 32 of the Europa League.
Woo! Living the European dream.
United would have won maybe another title or two if Ronaldo didn't leave.
Leon.
Van Persie, you could have had him.
No.
Could you imagine a front two of Ronaldo and Van Persie with Rooney through the middle?
Too many goals. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's when it comes to question. I think we're done for the night.
Yeah, we recorded for probably a lot longer than we hoped.
We're always like that, but yeah. Sorry, ladies.
Shall I wrap this up?
Yes.
For sure.
Yes, it has been a long evening for the three of us, but you know what? We greatly appreciate your comments and we greatly appreciate your questions. So keep sending those in to us on the YouTube and all of our social medias. We'll answer them in next podcasts. But for myself, Liam, from Lucas, Waz, from Maddie and Greg as well, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching and listening. Make sure you're subscribed to the 90th Minute. Hit us up on social medias. But from all of us here at the 90th Minute, this has been yet another week in the beautiful game. We will see you next time.